going to make a funky little reindeer. So I grabbed one of these wood ornaments from Dollar Tree and I flipped it over so that I had just the flat side. And then you see that deer head. That is from this wood site that I can give you a link down below where I got that, but you can probably find something similar at Dollar Tree. And then along with one craft stick that I am going to cut in half, and I'm going to paint all those mocha brown. And you'll see there that ornament, I only painted the top, and that's because I am going to take that polka dot felt and I am going to cover the other part of that ornament. Now, a lot of this particular video is going to be crafting mustache. So if you have followed me here for a little bit, you know that I do have plans to move from the West Coast to the East Coast, and therefore I need to get rid of a lot of things, and my craft stash is embarrassingly big. I especially have gotten so many things from Michael's grab bags, and so I'm going to use a lot of that in this video. So if you can't find these exact items, I sure hope that they just provide you with some inspiration. Just using some regular school glue, I'm going to glue that felt to the top of this ornament, and the top of the ornament there is going to be his tail. And then we're going to add the little deer head. And then you can see up to the top there, I have this, like, what would you call it? Kind of like a ribbon strand, but it's just the different pom-poms. Oh, and that is my cat Peeve. He thought he would jump up. I think he thought I had food. So anyhow, hope that didn't scare you. So I'm just going to pop off one of these red pom-poms here to use as the nose. So here is something that somebody gave me, this string of pom-pom things, and I'm finally using it. Okay, so we'll glue all those down. And then at the top there, I grabbed this little sign from Dollar Tree. I knew that I would cover it, but that it would work well as a stand, and sure enough, it is doing that just now. And then the little half sticks here are going to be his legs. So I will glue all that down. Yeah, so that was my little cat. He's not typically in my craft room. He has been acting a little different lately. My other cat that is my craft buddy, who is always in my craft room with me, unfortunately passed away a couple weeks ago, and so I think this cat is just a little out of sorts. So we miss our crafty cat very much. Okay, so now I've glued all of this down. Again, I'm going to glue on the craft sticks, and then I decided it just needs a little something more, so I grabbed an ornament from Walmart. I love these ornament kits. There's usually like 4 to 6 ornaments on them, and they just make great embellishments. Along with a little ribbon here. This ribbon is from Dollar Tree, and this will finish off our reindeer.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my...
Okay, I'm going to grab one of these circles from Dollar Tree and paint it white. And then I'm just finding a circle here. It just happens to be a lid to my spray paint. And just kind of trying to find the center. So what I'm going to do here is make a peppermint. And I gotta admit, it did not turn out great. But it's okay because most of it is covered. It's really a background. So if you don't get it perfect, it's fine. And then of course, after I painted this, I saw somebody else paint one and I was like, oh, that's how you do it. So the way they did it was they did 4 red stripes. So basically 1 on top, 1 on the bottom, and then 1 on each side. And then did like a skinny line in between them. So that made it way more even than mine came out. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because most of it's covered anyway. So once I have that drawn out, I'm just going to go in with the red paint and paint those stripes.
Favorite holiday, it's a chance to start over new. Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be.
Okay, then I'm going to use one of these candy cane ornaments from Dollar Tree, and then I am going to use this Joy wood sign from Michaels. They are normally $2.99. They're always on sale. I got them in my Michaels grab bag. I'm just going to pop off the top here of the ornament because I don't need that. And then you'll see that gingerbread man. That is just one of the wood gingerbread men from Dollar Tree that I painted with the brown and white and red. Okay, so now that I have painted this Joy green, it does have a design that's kind of indented into it. So I am just tracing that with my white marker, and I think that really gives it something extra. Okay, so now it's time to glue everything down. Now, I did mean to show you this gingerbread man beforehand, but apparently I didn't hit record. But you know, it's just that those plain old wood signs from Dollar Tree, and I just painted it very simply. And I do kind of want the flat parts to rest on the tabletop there so that you can either make this a hanging sign or you could put something behind it and make it stand up. So we'll glue that down, and then I'm going to add that little candy cane in his hand, and then lastly I'm going to make a bow. I think this turned out really fun. To be honest, I really haven't done a lot of traditional Christmas decor on my channel. I'm just really more of a like neutrals and kind of rustic DIYer, and so I have accumulated a lot of this bright red and stuff that I just haven't used, and I was like, okay, this is it, folks. We are going to do that in this video, and I have to say it has renewed my love of traditional Christmas colors. I just think they're so fun and vibrant and bright. So I think next year I'm going to incorporate some of these colors back into my decor. As far as this year, I am kind of going, so I've been doing like a neutral woodsy theme. This year I'm kind of adding in some champagne color and some lighter sage green, whereas before I did a lot of deep dark forest green. So that's going to be fun for this year. But next year I think I'm definitely going to add some more of this. I will have a new home, and hopefully I'll have a couple different rooms to decorate. I think that's always been a dream of mine, so let's hope let's hope that works out. Okay, so I'm going to glue down my bow here, and as you saw, it was just a simple 2-ribbon bow, and then I'm going to add a button here to the center, and this project is complete. Okay, let's make a Christmas tumbler. I've really been wanting to make these, but this is how one of them turned out using a mug press. It didn't work, as you can see here. So I am going to try again, but this time I'm going to use the Go-To Craft tumbler press. It's automatic. This thing is a 5 out of 5. But before I get that going, let me just show you how I did this. Make sure you get any lint or anything off of your stainless steel tumbler. This is the 20 ounce, and I just printed a sublimation image off my printer, and I'm always using Creative Fabrica. It is my absolute favorite place to get files. They have an unlimited amount. Like, I can't even go through all the pages of how amazing their images are. I will link that below, as well as this file. But once you get this all nice and tight on and you use your heat resistant tape, it is ready to go inside the press. Now, what I love about this machine is the types that you are going to press are all ready for you. So I'm using the tumbler, the 20-ounce tumbler press. You can also do the glass cans. You can also do mugs. And then there is also a manual that you can put your own time and temperature in. But this way it takes the guesswork out of what you're going to need to set this at. So here it's 365 degrees for 50 seconds. Now, if you've ever done tumblers, you know that you have to spin them around 180 degrees and then redo it. But this press is going to do that for you. So after the 50 seconds are up, it will release and then it is going to turn it 180 for you. So this makes it so easy. So 50 seconds, 50 seconds, and then your project is done in the heat press. And now they recommend doing a cold peel. So once the timer was up, I took this out and I let it cool down for just a couple of minutes. And then it's as simple as just taking off your sublimation paper, and now you have such a fun and vibrant tumbler. Again, my first attempt in a mug press didn't work. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 star tumbler press. I am so impressed by it. And again, I love anything that's automatic. So here you're going to get to see the big reveal. And yes, I did use a lot of tape, but that is because I wanted to make sure this was a perfect press down image. Now this particular image that I chose did not have a seam, like it didn't have something you had to match up. So it has like a kind of a funky seam, but that's just part of the design. That isn't anything I did. So you can see how much better this one turned out than the one I had in the past. Now this particular image, look at, isn't it fun? It has that 3D effect. We've got hot cocoa, cozy blankets, and Christmas movies. And then of course I had to try another one. I wanted to make one for my daughter, and look at these cute cats. I am so in love with how these turned out. And this one I almost got the seam perfect. My paper was just a hair short, but I was able to line it up pretty dang close. So make sure you go down into my description. I will have the links for everything here as well as a discount code. Okay, here's another project where I'm going to be using up some of my stash. I got this sign at Joann's after Christmas. I believe I paid $3 for it. I'm going to use this tree from Dollar Tree, and I'm trying to decide which green I want here, a brighter green or more of a olivey green. So I go ahead and I go with the brighter. This one is called Crisp Apple, and I will paint my tree in that color. And then I have the Sentiment Merry and Bright from Michaels. Again, these are $2.99 retail. They are currently 40% off. But I got these in my Michaels grab bag last year, and I got a bunch of different sayings. So, but the and sign is not going to fit, just not going to work. So I went into my wood letters, and I just decided to spell out and in these little ones. Now the sign could be just like this without the tree. I think that would look really good and classic, but we're gonna, you know, step it up just a little by adding that tree. So I've got this tree painted green now, and I painted the Merry and the Bright in just white chalk paint by Dixie Belle. It's the color Cotton. And then just using some red paint from my stash, I colored the letters that spell out and. So I will glue all this down. Now I used hot glue on this, and this was a little bit warped. You'll find that pretty common with Dollar Tree wood pieces. So I do hold it down with some heavy objects for a few minutes. Now to add the Merry and the Bright, I'm going to go ahead and use some wood glue, and I'm going to just paint it on. This is going to make things stick much, much better. I noticed with hot glue things can come undone, but I really felt like the tree needed that hot glue because it was a bigger, you know, piece. But now we'll put these down with the wood glue. Once I get these all glued down, I am going to just add a little ribbon. Again, I think I think this ribbon too is also from a Michael's grab bag. I'm telling you, if you don't know about Michael's grab bags, I'm going to go ahead and link up here above in the corner here so you can check out my videos where I've gotten the grab bags. But just for a quick explanation, at the end of the seasons, Michael's, once it's hit the 80%, right after that, they take everything they have left and they throw it in a box and they call it a grab bag. And they are always come out on a Monday. So once it's been at 80%, make sure you're checking back that next Monday. I also follow the freebie guy who will also tell you when it's happening. And they used to be $5, which was awesome, but now they're 10, but still $10 is amazing when you get a huge box of ribbon or a huge box of florals. So keep an eye out for those. Okay, I wanted to make a really big wreath, so I took this pool noodle here, and it didn't take 2 full pool noodles, I did cut one of them down. And then I have a bunch of these stems, again, from my Michael's grab bag, but you can use stems from anywhere. You can even take a garland and wrap it around. But again, I'm just really trying to use up my stash, and I want to give you some inspiration. So I'm going to take some zip ties here and zip tie this around. And my zip ties were just a little small, so I really had to pull with some pliers. So you want to make sure that you have long zip ties. I'm going to use 2 to secure this down. Now, since this is the first one I'm laying down, I wasn't exactly sure how much of the stem I was going to need. So for the next one, I will cut the stem shorter to begin with, but I wasn't sure yet. And what I like about these is they do have wire in them, so you can kind of curve them to like a C shape so that they fit on your wreath form. Now, after I made this project, I was looking at something saying, oh, if you use a pool noodle like this, it can lose its round shape. So that they were actually put using hula hoops instead. So keep that in mind as well. Now, I don't really mind if it kind of becomes oblong. I think it still looks good. But anyhow, I had a bunch of these. They all matched. Wasn't normally my style, and now that I've made this, again, I am obsessed with it. It is on my front door as we speak. I'm very excited about it. And I just really love the way this turned out. So again, you can just use any stems that you have. Of course, Dollar Tree has plenty, but I find that even maybe like the garlands, when they're on sale at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, those would work as well. I'm just going to fill in here with some of these stems that had the berries on them. And what I do is I use the floral pins. I haven't seen them at Dollar Tree lately. I got these at Michael's. Okay, so now that I've filled in any areas that I think, might be showing through, I am ready for the next step. So I grabbed a sign from Dollar Tree. Again, this was in my stash. I think it's been there for 2 years. It was time to use it. And so I put 2 pipe cleaners together. I wound them around each other because I want this to be really long so that I can put it around my wreath here. So I'm going to use 2 of them, and I'm going to hot glue them down, and then I'm going to kind of find a spot in my wreath that is a little flatter, and then I am going to twist this around and add it to the wreath.
You and me hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close.
I really like to experiment when I'm making wreaths, so I am trying something I've never seen. I've never tried. I just kind of wanted to see what would happen. So these are 12-inch strips. The red and the green are from Dollar Tree, and then the other one is something that was in my stash. So I'm going to fold them, and I'm going to pinch the ends together, and I'm going to secure it with one of these clear rubber bands from Dollar Tree, and then I am going to kind of flip it so it's flat, that bottom piece is flat, and then using one of the floral pins, I'm going to pin it into my wreath. And this is just going to give me like little baubles of ribbon throughout my wreath. So there's a million different ways you can add ribbon to a wreath, but again, I like to experiment, wanted to see maybe this might work. And honestly, I really do like how it looks. And it doesn't take up as much ribbon as if you were attaching it all as one piece, like making a loop and then pinning it and making another loop. You wouldn't get, your ribbon wouldn't go as far. And you can see here how that looks. It just kind of adds a little something. So I added, I believe 8 of those around. Okay, so now it's time for the big bow. And this again is some ribbon from my Michael's grab bag. And it's kind of this interesting texture. I wasn't sure if it would work because it's not wired, but it does still hold its shape. So I was able to do one of these bows. But this is kind of a newer bow that I was introduced to, and it's absolutely my favorite. I think it makes the best bow, and it's the easiest of all the ones I've tried. So you're going to pull there for your tail, and then you're going to fold over your loop at whatever length you want. I'm doing it at the 5 inches, and then I'm going to fold it over on the other side, and then we're going to pinch it, and we're just going to continue to do that for as many loops as you want. So I choose just to do 2 loops at this time with this particular ribbon, and then I'm going to pick some of the ribbons there off to the left as well. So the ribbons off to the left is something I found in my mom's stash. I think she ordered it from somewhere. She was going to use them to wrap presents. I'm not sure, but it was a box that had never been opened, and I was like, well, let's use it. Okay, so finishing off this bow here, once you've got 2 loops on each side, then you're going to pull that rest of that ribbon down. It's going to be your tail, and then you are going to cut it. And then we're just going to repeat this with as many other colors as you wish. I'm going to do a total of 3. Now, what I love about this type of bow, this particular green ribbon here was the same on both sides, but when you have ribbon that is only patterned on one side, or in this case only has glitter on one side, this ribbon is going to be, or this bow is going to be great because it's a way that your ribbon is always facing the right direction. So again, we're going to make our little tail, and we're going to pinch it. Now here's where we flip it. Okay, now we fold it over, pinch it, flip it, bring it back over, pinch it, flip it, bring it back over. And as you can see, by that flip, you're always going to have your pattern going on the upside and on the underside. So again, I'm going to do this for the 3rd ribbon I chose, and then just taking a pipe cleaner, or you can use I always do this, I forget the words I want to use. Zip tie, you could use that as well. I'm going to use the chenille stem because I do want it to go around the wreath form that we're doing. Once I get all the loops here and all the tails, I will go ahead and dovetail all the ends, but I won't make you watch me do all that.
Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh oh, la da da da. Oh oh, la da da da. Oh oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging.
Okay, now it's time to add it to the wreath here. I'm going to put it right underneath our sign. I went ahead and took that one ribbon bauble out because it's going to be covered anyway, and I ended up putting it somewhere else in the wreath. Last step here is to add some lights. I'm adding some fairy lights. I really like these because they're just easy to hide within the wreath. And so what I've decided to do here is I'm going to put the base at the very bottom of the wreath. That way I know that the weight is centered, because we do have kind of a heavier wreath on the left side, and this way when it hangs, it will hang correctly. What I like about these lights as well is it has 3 different things. You've got straight, you've got blinking, and then you've got the dim in and out. And it is also has a timer. So I like that as well because I will forget to turn them on and off. And so now every night at 6 o'clock it will go on and then it will go off at midnight. These particular lights I got at Michael's. They are normally $7.99, and as per usual, they're usually at least 40% off, and I think that is a really good deal. Now to get the box mounted, I just use some Velcro tabs here, and I just Velcroed it to the bottom. That way if I have to change out the batteries or anything, it will work. And now here it is hung on my door. I am absolutely in love. I think the bow is my favorite. I'm loving that bow style. And then once I have it here, I also showed you what it looked like on my door at nighttime. So let me know in the comments if you have a bunch of stuff in your stash now you are feeling motivated to use. And until next time, happy crafting.